Ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't paying attention today, the world of college football changed for the foreseeable future. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably figured out by the title of the headline. But the College Football Playoff Committee placed a submission today for the College Football Playoff to be extended to 12 games. It's expected to be approved with flying colors, and it's most likely set to begin in the season of 2023, but no earlier than 2023. So if you don't know, here's how this is going to be formatted. The sixth highest ranked conference championships will get an automatic bid, and the next six highest ranked teams will also make the college football playoff. The four highest ranked conference champs will be seeded 1 through 4, and they will all receive a first round bye. Teams 5 through 12 will play their first round at their home field or at the home field of the highest ranked team in that individual matchup. Now, since you have to win a conference championship to be one of those top 4 seeds, that obviously, kind of throws some shade at schools and the only real one that's prominent, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, being an independent, does not have a conference championship to win. So under this format, they will never be a top 4 seed until they finally give up and get into a conference like they did last year. Now, what I'm about to tell you and what I'm about to say is probably not going to go over well with very many fans, because as fans, and I understand this, all you really care about is whether or not your team has a shot at the end of things. And this new format undoubtedly increases the chances that your favorite team will get in, right? I mean, 12, it's a lot more than 4. In fact, it's 3 times more than 4. But I'm here to tell you, I'm not a Georgia fan. I'm not an Alabama fan. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I am not a fan of any one particular team. I am an avid and diehard fan of college football. And over the years, I've been told by hundreds of respective college football fans, ones that most of the time are loyal to one specific team, that they love college football because it isn't the NFL, right? That's what I hear. College football is better than the NFL. Why? Because it just is. It's not the NFL. It just means more, right? I mean, hell, that's your slogan at the SEC. It just means more. Except now, it means just a little bit less. Except now, albeit a small difference, each and every Saturday just became fractionally less important than it was. Now, you're one step closer to the NFL. You're one step closer to Saturdays in the fall just being an appetizer for the big dance that is January playoff time. Sounds pretty familiar, does it not? When South Carolina comes to Athens and beats your beloved Georgia Bulldogs in an overtime game in the middle of October, it's probably not going to hurt as bad anymore. Why? Well, because guess what? You still will probably win the SEC East as you did in 2019. And even if you get beat by Alabama in the SEC championship game or LSU or whoever it is, you're still subject to probably make the college football playoff. And to which you're probably saying, as while listening to this, Brooks, my team makes it. Why do I care? Why are you ranting? Why are you so hot about these things? I mean, that's all fine. I mean, we made it. And that is all fine and good for your team. But you're kind of proving my point here. The quote unquote, I don't care, we got in guy is the exact guy I'm talking about. It's the exact progression of this sport that I am concerned with. Because now that person, we just got in, probably doesn't care as much about September to December. He probably or she probably only cares about January. That's where you're going. And that's just the beginning of my issue with this. If you followed any of my work since the day I got started in the media, you will know one thing about me, that I am a players first oriented reporter. I am a players first media personality. I care about the sanctity and the protection of players. Why? Because I was one. That's what I relate to. And I beat that dead horse up and down because that's what I am. That's to my core. That's what I am. And now, will this be good for my business? 100%, without a doubt. It will be great for my business. 12 playoff teams? Are you kidding me? It will be great for my business. My pocketbook, just like everybody else's that's out here telling you this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, will increase without a doubt. Is it great for content? 100%. I'm making content right now about it. Okay. But again, This goes against everything I've ever stood for since day one, and I'm not comfortable with it. Did anybody, and I mean anybody, notice the one thing you did not hear about during today's proceedings? Not a single reporter tweeted about it. Not a single blue check on Twitter talked about it. Nobody. Did you recognize what it was? You didn't hear anything about the regular season being cut down. You didn't hear anything about the annual beatdown of Tittawatta Tech in the middle of your home stadium where half the stands are left by halftime, but it doesn't matter because we got their ticket sales anyways. You didn't hear about that game being canceled, did you? Being moved off of the schedule, did you? Well, why? Well, of course not. It's a loss of revenues. It's a loss of a home game. By God, we're not losing money. The whole idea of this is to make more. So why would we cut games out of the schedule? Absolutely not. We're not doing that. That's absurd. So now what? Now what? Now you've got college football teams that could play up to 4 more games following their regular season and conference championship games. Take Georgia, for example, in 2019. The one we just talked about with South Carolina, okay? They probably would have been a 5 seed, correct? In this new format, they would have been a 5 seed. They play 12 regular season games. They play a 13th in the SEC championship game. And in order to even finish second place in this magical 12-team tournament, they would have had to play another 4 games. That's 17 games. 17 for college football players. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, but Brooks. And it's also ironic that 17 is the exact number of regular season games that NFL teams are now playing. A collective bargaining argument and debate that went on for years before they added that one extra game for an additional cash grab, kind of like adding 8 more teams. We'll get to that in just a second. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, but Brooks, they're getting paid now, so it's okay. It's all good. The NIL's coming around. They're all good. Yeah, but the difference is they're being paid like laborers and working like CEOs, whereas the CEOs in the NFL that are playing 17 games, by God, they're making CEO money. You follow me? So here's the deal. Before you take to Twitter and praise the committee for this decision that's almighty brave and almighty powerful, I just want you to understand something. For years, you, the avid college football fan, the college football purist, have told me up and down that college football is the greatest thing ever because it means more. And that the players are doing it simply for the love of the game, and that's it. The colors on their chest, that G on their chest for you Georgia fans. And that it's not a business. It's for the love of the game. It is no business in college football. But I want to be clear about something. We're entering a world of college football where your regular season games now mean less. They do. That's fact. They will mean less beginning in 2023. Your players are set to begin to be paid next month through name, image, and likeness. And the decision makers in your sport are making every single cash grab business decision that they humanly possibly can. So don't tell me it ain't a business. And don't tell me that every game means something, because now it don't. And when you look up in a couple of years and you say, man, this just isn't the college football that I remember, that's because it ain't. And when you get to that point, when you finally arrive to that, reconciliation of what's going on in front of you, just remember, I told you so.